Our journey begins in 1931 when Universal Studios unleashed Dracula and Frankenstein on the world. These early monster movies set the tone of Hollywood horror for the next 2 decades, and would become the most influential versions of the characters ever created.
I am Dracula. A moment ago, I stumbled upon a most amazing phenomenon. Something so incredible, I mistrust my own judgment. Look.
Dracula. The very mention of the name brings to mind things so evil, so fantastic, so degrading. You wonder if it isn't all a dream, a nightmare.
Rats. Thousands. Millions of them.
But no, this is no dream.
James Whale's Frankenstein gave life to Mary Shelley's creation and tapped into the fears of scientific hubris and playing God, with Boris Karloff's iconic performance as the Frankenstein monster.
How do you do? Mr. Carl Lemley feels it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image, without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the 2 great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
When this dead hand moves, the monster created by a man they called mad is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria.
At the same time, Todd Browning's Dracula introduced Bela Lugosi as the suave, hypnotic count. Lugosi and Karloff's performances left an indelible mark on the horror genre itself, with these movies becoming the archetypes of horror, tragic creatures, and supernatural villains that defied the genre's first golden age. These films proved that audiences would pay to be scared, establishing formulas such as doomed lovers, foggy castles, and ominous music, with their success paving the way for every single ghost story and monster movie that followed for decades to come.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Mr. McDougal, will you stop gargling your throat?
After World War II, horror continued to evolve, and the atomic age gave birth to giant mutated monster movies such as radioactive ants and giant lizards, reflecting the nuclear paranoia of the time. And in The Fly, a scientist becomes half man, half fly in a tragic teleportation mishap.
Will everyone in the theater hold on firmly to his seat, please? Stop it! Stop it! I'm Vincent Price. What unearthly horror did that girl gaze upon? What manner of incredible thing walked beneath that hood? It would be unfair at this time to show you any more of what went on in that laboratory where a man actually dared to play God. So fantastic, words can't begin to describe it. You must see it with your own eyes to believe it. When The Fly comes your way.
Enter the cavern of unknown horrors. Listen.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
See, the only existing specimen of a spider, bigger than a human.
Man, I better find out what made this creature so big. And find out fast, or we're all going to be in pretty serious trouble.
For shocking, skin-crawling excitement, meet face to face 50 creeping tons of black horror. See the spider.
The Black Scorpion destroys communications. Hundreds annihilated. Produced on a scale never achieved before by any science fiction picture. Thousands in the cast.
But while this new age of films began, the old school horror movies would only continue to evolve, with some of the most notable films of the time coming from the British film company Hammer, which reigned supreme with horror from the late 50s all the way into the early 70s, with reinventions of many of the classic monster movies.
What are you trying to tell me, Paul? That Victor's wicked? Insane?
Wicked, insane, evil. Call Frankenstein what you will. A demon had made a man-made monster, and now the monster was the master.
Oh, what are you going to do? For your sake and to protect Elizabeth, I've so far kept silent. But now I shall go to the authorities and have them destroy that creature. And see that you pay for these atrocities. No!
Please try and understand. This is not Lucy, the sister you loved. It's only a shell, possessed and corrupted by the evil of Dracula.
How do you destroy a fiend who has so far proven himself indestructible? Those who come to end his reign of terror stay to become his victims.
Castle Dracula is somewhere here in Klausenberg. Will you tell me how I get there?
You ordered a meal, sir. As an innkeeper, it's my duty to serve you. When you've eaten, I ask you to go and leave us in peace.
This is the doctor who dares to challenge the vampire Dracula. Dracula, the bedeviled master of all that is evil.
forbidden secrets of life and death.
You cannot run away from the curse of the mummy's tomb. We're all doomed to die for this act of desecration.
The curse of the mummy's tomb reveals the mystery, the murders. The terrifying story of a rampaging bandage and bone monster stalking those who defiled its tomb of terror.
Help me! Get away! Get away! Get away! No!
But by 1960, iconic filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock rewrote the rulebook entirely with Psycho.
Here we have a quiet little motel, tucked away off the main highway, and as you see, perfectly harmless looking, when in fact, it has now become known as the scene of the crime. This motel also has, as an adjunct, an old house, which is, if I may say so, a little more sinister looking, less innocent than the motel itself. And in this house, the most dire, horrible events took place. I think we can go inside because the place is up for sale, although I don't know who's going to buy it now. In that window on the second floor, the single one in front, that's where the woman was first seen. Let's go inside. You see, even in daylight, this place still looks a bit sinister. Now, it was at the top of these stairs that the second murder took place. She came out of the door there and met the victim at the top. Of course, in a flash, there was the knife, and in no time, the victim tumbled and fell with a horrible crash. I think the back broke immediately. It hit the floor. It's difficult to describe the way that the twisting of the well, I won't dwell upon it. Come upstairs. Of course, the victim, or should I say victims, hadn't any conception as to the type of people they would be confronted with in this house, especially the woman. She was the weirdest and the most... Well, let's go into her bedroom. Here's the woman's room, still beautifully preserved. And the imprint of her figure on the bed where she used to lay. I think some of her clothes are still in this wardrobe. This was the son's room, but we won't go in there because his favorite spot was the little parlor behind his office in the motel. Let's go down there. This young man, you had to feel sorry for him. After all, being dominated by an almost maniacal woman was enough to drive anyone to the extreme of, well, let's go in. Well, I suppose you'd call this his hideaway. His hobby, as you see, was taxidermy. Crow here, an owl there. Now, an important scene took place in this room. There was a private supper here. And, oh, by the way, this picture has great significance because, let's go along to cabin number 1, the bathroom. Well, they've cleaned all this up now. Big difference. You should have seen the blood. The whole place was, well, it's too horrible to describe. Dreadful. And I'll tell you, there's a very important clue was found here. Down there. Well, the murderer, you see, crept in here. Very slowly. Of course, the shower was on, there was no sound. And,
Hitchcock's thriller wasn't about monsters at all, but rather the monster inside the human mind in the form of Norman Bates. Psycho's famous shower scene shocked audiences and gave birth to psychological horror, teaching filmmakers that the ugliest fear can be your average next-door neighbor. Another game changer to come out of the 1960s was George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the living dead, the dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living whose bodies are the only food for these ungodly creatures.
A gritty independent zombie movie that became one of the most profitable independent films ever made outside of the studio system. Shot in black and white and on a shoestring budget, it redefined zombies as we know them today, as flesh-eating hordes of the undead, with it even being one of the very first horror films to put an African-American actor in the lead role. Its success showed Hollywood that a little gore and social subtext could scare up big box office returns, and made George Romero forever synonymous with zombies.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time.
Not that room! Not that room!
Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all times.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill. This situation must be controlled before it's too late. They are multiplying too rapidly.
Dawn of the Dead.
Meet me on the roof at 9 o'clock. Get out.
I don't believe
We're
it.
gonna
What?
get out in the chopper. We've got to survive. Somebody's got to survive.
They kill for one reason. They kill for food. They eat their victims.
Imagine, if you will, that something has gone terribly wrong.
Shoot it, man.
Now, accept the fact that there's no escaping the horrible consequences. George Romero brings back the dead.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotions.
Operator dead. Post abandoned.
You may never get out alive.
It's everywhere. What the hell is it?
Looks like a shopping center, one of those big indoor malls.
What are they doing? Why do they come here?
Some kind of instinct, memory, what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives.
What is it?
We've got a war.
I'm afraid.
We have spawned our own savagery. Soon it will consume us all. It is a horrible, hauntingly accurate vision of the mindless excesses of a society gone mad. Dawn of the Dead.
The 1970s became horror's biggest boom with The Exorcist. A film that arrived with crucifixes blazing and heads spinning, with it literally scaring audiences out of their seats, with its dark and brutal portrayal of demonic possession. A landmark film in supernatural horror, exploring faith versus evil and pushing on-screen terror to an all-new extreme. Meanwhile, independent directors were starting to get more daring, with Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
A film that showed that you didn't need fancy effects or a sane plot to horrify audiences. It proved that just raw, gritty violence could work, like a nightmare out of the blue. And then came 1975's Jaws, which essentially ate the concept of horror movies and spat out what became the first summer blockbuster movie.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
Regarded as a big turning point in motion picture history, it was the highest grossing film of its time, kickstarting Hollywood's blockbuster craze. But for the horror genre, the film showed what was possible if handled with more reverence rather than just targeted as a never forgetful B-movie. Internationally, Dario Argento's Italian horror Suspiria inspired American directors with its dreamlike style and vibrant gore.
You can run from Suspiria. Suspiria. You can hide from Suspiria. You're missing more terrifying than the last 12 minutes of Suspiria. Are the first 92.
By the decade's end, the slasher genre started to explode into popularity with John Carpenter's Halloween.
Halloween night. A small American town. 15 years ago.
Michael?
Halloween.
Okay, Linda. Come on out.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
A film that introduced Michael Myers in a cheap painted white Captain Kirk mask, stalking babysitters on Halloween night. Another classic that was made on a shoestring budget, it became an absolute sensation. It's the film that essentially set the template for slasher movies as we know it, a masked killer, isolated victims, and surprise kills. But unlike the desolate location of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, Halloween showed what could happen in any small suburban neighborhood, and helped launch a cycle of derivative slasher films as well as its own messy yet enduring franchise.
Universal Pictures presents Halloween 2, More of the Night He Came Home.
Who is it?
There was nothing within him, neither conscience nor reason, that wasn't even remotely human.
This is some kind of a joke? I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
Janet, go tell Mr. Garrett we're having trouble with the phones.
There is no place to hide. He will always find you.
What's this? It's a Celtic word. It means the Lord of the Dead.
Halloween 2.
Soon after, characters like Jason Voorhees of Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger of A Nightmare on Elm Street, along with Halloween's Michael Myers, would take on the template as the new enduring horror movie icons. With slasher movies racking up sequels with every year promising parts 2, 3, 4, 5, and beyond.
With Friday the 13th. Because 13 is an unlucky number. But out here, so are 1 through 12. Because these are Jason's woods. And nobody leaves them alive. Friday the 13th, Part 3, in 3D. Jason, you can't fight him. You can't stop him. And now,
can't even keep him on the screen. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. 10 years ago, on the night of October 31st, a small Midwestern town fell victim to an escaped killer. Under the cover of darkness, he carried out the most horrifying mass murder on record. 16 people in cold blood. Ever since that night, no one has forgotten his name. And Halloween has never been the same.
He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way.
Oh, God.
Who's gonna be next?
Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Maybe nobody knows how to stop him.
Even classics like Psycho got new entries.
It's 22 years later. Norman Bates is coming home. And he's back in business. Psycho 2.
13 years ago, audiences across America were horrified by the savagery of a faceless killer. In the wake of this bizarre rampage, he vanished. Now, after more than a decade of silence, he has come out of hiding. Texas Chain Saw Massacre 2.
But the genre also got weird and grand in this era. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining with Jack Nicholson endlessly breaking down doors showed that even big-budget art house filmmakers could take control over the genre and could make a film that's more of a slow-burning and cerebral epic, instead of just being splashy and bloody. Whilst at the same time, gory remakes of 50s sci-fi creature classics proved to surpass their original's reputation in time.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh no, what's happening to me? Am I dying? I want to know what's going on.
What does the disease want?
It wants to turn me into something else. Oh no.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone.
Help me. Please, help me.
With the Elm Street and Hellraiser series injecting the 80s with surreal and gruesome visuals, proving that the slasher genre could go beyond just faceless silent killers who slowly stalk their victims in isolated locations. Instead, in the case of Freddy Krueger, this was a killer that wanted you to know that he existed.
Do you know what terror is?
Hello.
Do you live here?
Nobody lives here.
Real terror.
long has it been since you've been on Elm Street? Welcome to a brand new nightmare. He is the first in fear.
Will you help me? God, someone help me, please!
Second to none.
Don't let them put you to sleep.
I was bored. I'd gone to the limit. There was nothing else I wanted. A box.
Not just any box. It opens doors.
It gave me an experience beyond the limits.
Give me that box! Give me the box!
We have such sights to show you.
Hellraiser, There Are No Limits, a film by Clive Barker.
The 1990s would continue much of the same formulas as established in the 1980s, with most of the most popular franchises continuing to receive new entries, even if they had diminishing returns.
Some tales are told, then soon forgotten. But a legend is forever. Leatherface, Texas Chain Saw Massacre 3. Horror has many faces. Death wears many different masks. But pure evil wears only one. And this is your final chance to see it. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Whilst other long-lasting horror icons would begin to leave their mark.
In cities everywhere,
Candyman?
they whisper his name.
Right. Candyman.
It's just a story.
Candyman?
Candyman.
Just a ghost story.
Candyman.
Helen, a woman died in there. Leave it.
Everyone knows he isn't real.
That's modern oral folklore.
Everyone. Except Helen Lyle.
Bernadette. It ain't safe around here. I don't scare too easy. Wanna know about Ruthie Jean? They ain't never gonna catch him. Who? Candyman.
Who is that?
I came for you.
Do I know you?
Now she is about to discover
Helen? Get out! Get out!
what's behind the mystery.
You're sick.
What's behind the legend.
Listen, he's under the bed!
And most terrifying of all, come with me. What's behind the mirror.
He's here.
Candyman.
But the decade also brought self-awareness and sophistication to the genre, with Jonathan Demme's The Silence of the Lambs.
You spook easily, Starling?
Not yet, sir.
He's past the others. The last cell. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
A
killer is on the loose.
Keeps them alive for 3 days. Then he shoots them, skins them, and dumps them.
A rookie FBI agent is on his trail. But in order to track him down, she'll have to match wits.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
So rare to capture one alive. So close to the way you're going to catch him. Do you realize that? Oh, Clarice, your problem is you need to get more fun out of life.
You told me you don't spook easily.
You call this easy, sir?
Lecter's missing hand arm.
Man's a raving maniac. Who knows what he'll do?
Thank you, Clarice. Thank you.
Which proved that horror movies could win Oscars even if they had to be labeled as more of a thriller. And then there was Wes Craven, who took his own most beloved character Freddy Krueger and completely turned the concept of the Nightmare franchise on its head in New Nightmare, which brought Freddy Krueger into the real world, a concept that at the time was a little too meta for most audiences, but it would eventually become one of the most beloved films in the franchise. But he would then go on to do his most iconic film, Scream.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Someone is playing a deadly game.
It all began with a scream over 911.
Someone who's seen one too many scary movies. Now, he's taken his love of fear
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
one step too far.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back! Everybody's a suspect!
You're not scared, are you?
Scream.
A horror movie about horror movies themselves, with its characters openly discussing horror cliches. Now suddenly there was a horror movie where the characters within the movie are aware of the genre's own tropes. This wink and nod approach completely revived interest in the slasher subgenre and changed horror movies forever, proving that the genre could laugh at itself and still deliver some good scares, with several big-budget slashers following suit.
This is what we call an urban legend. Contemporary folklore passed on as a true story. Something you might have heard about mixing Pop Rocks and soda.
Supposedly, your stomach and your intestines burst.
Voila, still alive. Mr. Brooks, please.
He's gonna explode! Somebody call 911!
The stories we've all told.
Guy and a girl, and they're parked out in the woods. The guy steps out, and the girl starts to hear these scratching noises. It's her dead boyfriend hung from a tree.
The tales we've all listened to.
Isn't there another story about a guy with an axe hiding in a woman's back seat?
My mom still checks the back seat before getting into a car.
But just because it never happened doesn't mean it never will.
She could have been any one of us.
What if there is a lunatic on campus?
What is he gonna do next, huh? Maybe put spider eggs in Bubblicious? The idea of an urban legend serial killer. It's a stretch.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Could it be an urban legend?
Someone out there is taking all these urban legends and making them reality.
Urban legend.
While on the indie side, the found footage subgenre would become a revolutionary new way to scare audiences with the Blair Witch Project, a film that actually convinced audiences of the time that they were watching an actual videotape of teenagers lost in the woods. It invented a new realism, shaky cams, a more subtle terror that other films would soon start to imitate, leading to the found footage genre becoming the most oversaturated subgenre in horror. The new millennium saw horror go international. Films like Japan's Ringu and South Korea's A Tale of Two Sisters introduced uniquely eerie ghost stories and showcased vengeful spirits in a whole new, unique, and terrifying way. Hollywood took notice and began remaking these films for American audiences, emphasizing atmospheric dread and jump scares.
You start to play it, and it's like somebody's nightmare. And as soon as it's over, your phone rings. And what they say is, you will die in 7 days.
Would you say that I'm gullible?
No.
Easily rattled?
You're a little highly strung, maybe.
I watched the tape.
I'm not gonna get all worked up over some rumor. Oh, show it to me.
Miss Keller, I'm bothered by these drawings.
Why did you draw that house?
She told me to.
Who?
Who told you to?
She shows me things.
Before you die, you see the ring. When they see the ring,
Everyone will suffer.
you see the ring. You see the ring.
The whole time I was in that house, I felt something was wrong.
You have one new message.
That's your voice. That's you. Dying.
Ever since that bizarre phone call, I keep seeing things.
It's like you get a voicemail,
Call came in 2 nights ago.
you hear your death,
They're getting your head back.
and then you die.
Look, these things work here. They're getting your head back.
Also in the 2000s, the brutal Saw franchise introduced audiences to elaborate torture puzzles. The first film was a legitimately well-made movie, with lots of great twists and turns, making it one of the most influential horror movies of the 2000s, and making the Saw franchise into an annual hit. But unfortunately, as the series went on, it quickly devolved into a simple showcase for twisted gore. The subgenre of found footage really began to take off in 2007 with the ultra-low-budget horror film Paranormal Activity.
High-def camera on. My girlfriend Katie, she thinks there's something in the house. I don't know.
You believe me, right?
Doors are locked, alarm is on. If anything walks through here, it's gonna leave a pretty good footprint.
When did you hear that? Oh my god.
This woman, same things happen to her.
Oh god. I feel it breathing on me.
Looks like something big here.
You stop following me with the camera!
I'm in control.
Made for only about $15,000, it scared audiences into frenzies and grossed nearly $200 million, with the studio behind the film Blumhouse proving that tiny budgets could yield massive profits if made well. And they would repeat this formula with other horror films such as Insidious, Sinister, and The Purge, each time spending just a few million to reap in big returns.
Sweetie?
Morning, guys.
I went into Dalton's room. There was something in there with him. I know someone who can help.
We took tri-field and EMF readings of the whole house. Wiring, alarm clocks.
I don't think bad wiring is the problem here.
I want to leave. I want to leave this house.
It's not the house that's haunted. It's your son.
This strategy completely reshaped the business model for modern horror movies. New Line Cinema then took notice of the formula and produced possibly the most successful horror franchise in recent years with The Conjuring.
Right, it's 9:18. We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us.
Nothing.
Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences.
You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it? Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it takes a toll on her. A little piece each time.
You have a lot of spirits in here, but there's one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful. We have to get out of here.
That's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
Father, we never seen nothing like this.
I'm coming with you.
No way. I can't lose you.
The Conjuring would become a pop culture defining horror film of the decade, with its many successful spin-offs such as Annabelle and The Nun not quite reaching the first film's reputation, but still proving that the formula could work when repeated.
I had a series of visions when I was younger. And after each one ended, the same thought would be stuck in my head.
What did you see?
I saw a nun. Word of my visions reached the church, and I was asked to accompany a priest to an abbey in Romania.
Sister, please. This way.
Hello.
Meanwhile, big-budget horror franchise would begin to return with the big-screen adaptation of Stephen King's It, a film that became a pop culture sensation and the highest-grossing horror movie of all time.
Yeah, I saw him too.
Look, it's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
while at the same time directors like Ari Aster and Robert Eggers moved horror into the art house form, with these films being more lush, slow, and deeply unsettling in psychological ways, with many of the most successful films of the 2010s and 2020s often focusing on atmosphere and trauma rather than just jump scares.
I don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Today, the horror genre is literally more popular than ever before, as 2025 became the highest grossing year for horror movies ever, with some of the most successful films of the year in the genre. Horror movies themselves have remained some of Hollywood's most profitable throughout the decades, and the genre has kept evolving, whether it's in the form of vampires, slashers, silent killers, or paranormal horror. Horror movies themselves have absolutely no intention of dying quietly anytime soon.